Bryan Stern from Gray Bull Rescue. Tell you what, a lot of folks now in the Tampa Bay area are aware of Gray Bull Rescue after
Your show.
Well, I wasn't going to say my show. I was going to say after the rescues you performed. No, but a lot of people did hear it on the show. For instance, I think her name is Jean. I don't want to use her. She just has the her initial on the check. She sent a check for a Gray Bull Rescue for $100.
Thanks, Jean.
And donation, and she sent me a note. She sent the check for the American Red Cross and a check to Gray Bull Rescue, and the note said, hey, MJ, listening to your show, I know that you'll be able to make sure that these checks get to the right location, to the right people. And I called you up, and I said, Bryan, come on back down to the show. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is a $100 check to Gray Bull Rescue.
That's awesome, man. Every bit helps.
Thanks, Gene.
And then, yesterday on the way home, after I worked out, Michelle was with me because we went to the gym, and she walks to the gym, and then we ride home. We stopped first at the American Red Cross office over.
It's on Main Street, right?
It's on Main Street, which is like
it's like 1 block north of 275 going through Tampa.
Yeah, it's like just like north of Walmart. Like near Walmart at 275. It's back. It's that like feeder road. It's the Popeyes you see. It's like further down, and that's where the whole American Red Cross complex is. And I walked in, and I gave them their check. They were thrilled, and had a couple MJ Morning Show listeners in there. So after action in the Tampa Bay area, and folks, this is Bryan Stern, the founder, CEO of Gray Bull Rescue. This is a private, nonprofit rescue organization, and I came to know about Gray Bull because they rescued the Murphy family from their burning house, and also the McElwains.
And the McElwains.
Who live
and their dogs. And their dogs.
And the dogs. And if you didn't hear the story, this was during Helene, the first hurricane. This is back on September 26th. And the Murphys' Tesla Model S was in the garage, and because of the storm surge and the 3 feet of water in houses and garages in South Tampa and Beach Park, this ignited the Tesla Model S and burned their whole house to the ground. This is like a brand new, gorgeous, beautiful house. Very, very expensive house, and the thing was gutted. I mean, it was incinerated. Yeah. Have you seen the structure since the night of the rescue? Have you been back to see what it looks like?
Well, we have. We went back the next day,
right?
And it was still on fire. It was still kind of simmering, still
smoldering. So, sure.
It was still cooking.
Well,
we haven't been back since then.
I walk by it every day because that's part of my walk. I walk several miles a day, and the whole inside, there's nothing left. I mean, complete. If you would imagine like a cremation, the entire inside of that house is cremated. The only thing standing are the 4-block masonry walls to the house,
and like the front door, like you can see like the front door a little bit. And the door is gone, but the
archway,
the brick around the door,
the opening,
it's like a skeleton, is what it looks
inside. Like. Nothing remains. I mean, even the car was like burnt to the ground. Yeah. I still have the video that I took of the burned out shell. It's on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio. You gotta scroll down because it was back in late September. But there's video of me walking around this burned down house due to the Tesla fire. But so it's on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. If you haven't seen this, it is unbelievable. The entire inside is incinerated. The second floor of the house doesn't exist because it was wood joist, wood floor.
And their roof looks worse than the Tropicana.
There's no roof.
Gone.
Literally the only thing standing in the 4-block walls of the perimeter of the house. That's it.
Okay, we've all seen burned out houses.
This is unbelievable. And of course, they're not going to have an electric car anytime soon. So that's how I became aware of Gray Bull Rescue, because, got the story of what happened. We talked about it on the air. I was contacted by Michael Murphy, who is, he owns the Murphy Auto Group. He's got, I guess, automotive dealerships out in
Georgia. He has
Georgia, and there's some out in maybe Polk or Highland. He's got a couple, locally in some surrounding counties. And, he reached out to me, and then I found out about Gray Bull Rescue. And then I'm hearing the story about this organization that rescued them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, folks, Tampa Fire and Rescue could not get into the neighborhood. They could not. There was 3 feet of water. I know it because I got to the studio that morning. I was wading through waist-high water to get to Kennedy and West Shore in order to get a ride from TPD to the studio to do the show that day. So I knew it was impossible to get through the neighborhood. I don't know what the hell I walked through. But you guys came because Mike Murphy, he knew of your organization.
Mike's a friend of ours and a donor also. He's very generous to us.
And he was out on business in California and calls you and said, oh, you're not going to believe this. And my family is now on the front porch of the next door neighbor's house. Meanwhile, their home is ablaze. The neighbors are worried the fire's going to catch their houses on fire. And anyway, at 3 o'clock in the morning, you and your team come in with inflatable rafts to get these 2 families to safety and away from this structural, working fire.
Yeah, so that night we did that night with that particular case we did 10 people, 2 babies, and 2 dogs.
Wow,
that's that's 10 of over 7,100 people that my team has saved over time.
Now, when we had you in the studio after this occurred, we had you in a few days later, and you were headed to Lebanon that very day. You did the MJ Morning Show about this time, and then later that afternoon, you were on a flight to Lebanon to rescue Americans that were trapped because of the
Israeli Hezbollah war.
Exactly.
Yep.
From one war zone to another.
That's kind of where we go, right? We work where the government isn't for whatever the reasons are. We don't care why they're not there.
Right.
All we care about is, are you an American and are you in trouble? And if no one's coming to get you, that really is the whole show.
How many Americans did you extract from Lebanon?
I don't know how many. Dozens, though.
Wow.
Dozens.
All right. And then you guys also assisted in the North Carolina disaster.
Yep.
So I've lost. It's all a blur to me. So
It's been a busy month. It's been a busy month.
So the North Carolina issue, that wasn't Helene. That was Milton that then rolled up into the Carolinas.
It was both.
It was both.
Yeah,
Okay.
Helene really devastated western North Carolina.
See, I've lost track of which
the
one.
Asheville area, that valley area. Really.
Western North Carolina, where like whole towns were erased and 50 or 60 people are still missing.
Yeah.
So we went from Helene, we went from Mike Murphy's front door to the rest of Tampa and Pasco and all throughout the region.
So how many others did you rescue in the Tampa Bay area because of our storms?
Dozens and dozens.
Wow.
Dozens and dozens and dozens. We did like 50-something at Fowler and 15th. Like 50, 60-something.
Because that whole area, Fowler Avenue is underwater for a couple days.
University Mall area.
Yeah. So we did, we were, again, what we do is we try and understand where government resources are and then look at where there's more problems, and wherever they're not is where we go. That's kind of our format. So if Tampa Fire is there, there's no need for us. They're good at what they do. They're the best. Tampa Police, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, they're awesome. They've got lots of resources. They're very good at what they do, but they also can't be everywhere when these things happen. There's just a shortage of resources. That's the nature of it.
Wow. Just unbelievable. You're a nonprofit organization.
Entirely donor funded.
And if anyone wants to donate to Gray Bull Rescue, all you do is go to graybullrescue.org.
Correct.
graybullrescue.org. And if there's an organization that deserves you to send the check to, right here.
Yeah, this is it.
And I'll tell you, social media is an important thing also. We have LinkedIn and Facebook and all that other good stuff.
Yep.
That is how people often, when you call 911 and you're in trouble, if you're Mike Murphy and you call 911, they don't connect you to me. The way you know about us is very often through social media. Right. It's how Mike found us in the first place. So I ask everyone, I don't care if you like our stuff or not, but share. We just rescued a kid from southern Lebanon that surrounded by Hezbollah. Surrounded.
Wow.
His father found us on Instagram, and a friend of his forwarded a message from Instagram that his friend, it was his mechanic. His mechanic was following us, saw us, forwarded to the father. The father got it to the kid.
Wow. That
kid was trying to get out of southern Lebanon for 7 weeks.
Holy crap.
We did it a day and a half.
And then you sent me a text that you've brought a special guest.
Yeah.
Hold on. This guy right here, his name is
Kirillo Alexandrov.
Kirillo Alexandrov, and You rescued him from a Russian prison?
From the Russian perspective, he's an escaped fugitive. Carrillo is one of my dearest friends. We know each other years now. He was actually with me at the Mike Murphy fire.
Oh, wow.
So
hold on. How long ago? Hey, Carrillo, come on over
Come
to
on
this.
over here, Carrillo.
Grab the Roxanne Big Toe Memorial microphone this morning. All right?
It involves
laughing at?
it involves a nail salon and an infection.
Oh,
It's really a terrible situation.
Big toe amputation.
the tragic events of
Infected pedicure. All right. So, Carrillo, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So, why were you in a Russian prison?
Well, I was living.
Get right on that microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I was living in Ukraine with some family about 5 years or so until that point,
Right.
and I lived right north of Crimea, so I couldn't get out of time. Russians came over, took over, and
What was the justification? Not that they need anybody.
I'm an American.
Really?
Yep.
How long were you in a Russian prison?
37 days.
Wow.
It was a prison camp, I would call it. It was a abandoned building. I was stuck in a room.
Yeah.
Just concrete room.
Wow.
No windows or anything.
So, and you guys broke him out?
So from the Russian perspective, so Carrillo was falsely charged with 11 counts of espionage,
Wow.
all fabricated.
Yeah, of
and
course. BS.
It's all crap.
Yep.
His only crime, he's from Detroit. His only crime is that he has a passport that looks like your passport.
Yeah.
That's his crime.
An American passport.
From the Russian perspective, he's an escaped fugitive. He wasn't released. So when we see on TV Brittany Griner or Paul Whelan,
Oh, yeah.
there was a deal that was made. Sadly, my team and I don't have those kinds of resources. I can't lift a sanction. I don't have $6 billion. I don't have any Russian prisoners in my garage.
Yep.
In Tampa
To trade.
To trade.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Working on it. Just kidding. Just kidding, Vladimir Putin. If you're listening, just kidding. So
we
we
don't want to get polonium 210.
Yeah. Well, they won't mess with us. Is
Okay,
what I'll
yeah.
say is they've tried and it didn't work out too well. Anyway, so Carrillo, we don't have any of those resources, so we had to do it the old-fashioned way. And today, the Russians don't know how we broke them out.
Oh.
They don't know.
And we're not going to reveal it on the MJ Morning Show.
Oddly enough,
Unless you want to.
I've even shared with them as a joke. Like,
Well, do you want to tell us how you broke him out then?
We'd be here all day. So the Russians call me Amerikansky Volshabnik, and it means like the American magician. Right.
Wow.
So imagine if the FBI, we broke him out on Victory Day as Putin went to the microphone, which is like Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and July 4th, all wrapped into one. So
And when was this? What year was this?
May 2022.
So May 2022.
Yep.
So a little over 2 years
So
ago.
it's a big holiday
Wow.
in Russia.
So when you see on TV the big parade in Red Square with all the missiles,
Yeah, it's the
and
May
tanks,
Day. May Day.
That's
the,
it. That's
the,
it.
the May 1st parade.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct. So we negotiated for 37 days trying to have an amicable release. And I was able to figure out quickly that they were never going to let him go. And I gave them every reason to let him go, all kinds of tricks and things that we do and manipulation and all these other things. And they weren't doing it. Moscow had directed the people holding him to let him go, and they even defied Moscow.
Oh,
So
wow.
we didn't know why. But we knew that, that's how, in Russia, that's how you get thrown out of a window, right? That's
Right.
Defying the crown is
Yeah. I
bad.
mean, you fell off the roof of your apartment building.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. You committed suicide with
Right.
87 stab wounds in your back.
Yeah, if you cross Vladimir Putin, there's a whole list of business executives,
Mysterious deaths.
media types. Yeah, you're going to have some type of an accident if Vladimir Putin wants you gone.
So we figured out that they weren't going to let him go. We didn't know why they wouldn't let him go, but we figured that part out. But to keep up appearances, I kept negotiating anyway for theater.
Right.
So what they didn't know was that I was planning our own unilateral hit, is what they didn't know. So I got them to take a break, to make it their idea to take a break for negotiations on the holiday. It was their idea.
Yep.
They didn't know that was my game day. They didn't know.
That you were moving in. So
What?
when they least expected it, that's when you went in.
So we do the thing. We get Carrillo out. I knew.
Didn't they have guards?
Oh, it's a very long story.
Oh, man.
So they sent a hitman to kill Carrillo and I,
Oh,
and we even got that on video.
oh my
So
God.
that dummy thought that we were walking into his ambush, but joke's on him. He walked into our ambush.
Are you selling that story to Hollywood yet?
No, we should though. We should. If you're listening, Tom Cruise,
Yeah, hey, listen, Tom Cruise is probably right over in Clearwater right now in
it's
his
Scientology.
in his condo.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal. Folks, this is a local organization Gray Bull Rescue is right here in the Tampa Bay area. Their office is at Rocky Point. Make a donation. It is completely funded by people like you. It's a nonprofit. It's funded by individual donations. And you can just go to their website, graybullrescue.org, graybullrescue.org. That's graybullrescue.org, and make a donation to this fabulous foundation. Hey, great having you back in, buddy.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Did you like the video? Want more? Go ahead and click all this like, share, subscribe.